So, what if I told you your experience of reality isn't set in stone? That there's a simple, super powerful mental tool you can use to completely change how you see and feel about the world, like in an instant. This tool, this mental superpower, is called the Reframe. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it works.
To really get this, let's start with a simple and I think incredibly relatable story. It's about something as everyday as, well, walking a dog.
So author Scott Adams used to find walking his dog, Snickers, to be this super frustrating experience. He'd set out to give her some good exercise, but all Snickers wanted to do was sniff absolutely everything. Every tree, every single bush. So from his point of view, the walk was just a constant tug of war. It felt like a daily failure at a really simple task.
But then, he learned something that changed everything. For a dog, sniffing is just as important, just as mentally stimulating as the physical walk. It's basically how they check their social media, their face mark, if you will. So he totally changed his perspective. He wasn't failing at a walk. He was totally succeeding at giving his dog a good sniff.
And this is the whole point right here. The actual situation didn't change one bit, but his personal experience of it completely transformed. A daily frustration literally became a daily success. That tiny little shift in language created a brand new reality for both him and his dog. And that is the core of what reframing is all about.
So what is this mental cheat code, really? Let's dig into the mindset behind it.
To put it simply, a reframe is a deliberate choice to see the world differently. Look, everything we experience is rewiring our brains all the time anyway. A reframe is just learning how to do it strategically, on purpose, to get the outcome you actually want.
And here's the part that's maybe the most counterintuitive, but also the most powerful part of this whole idea. A reframe doesn't have to be objectively, 100% scientifically true. It just has to work. It just needs to feel true enough to shift your perspective and, by doing that, change your entire experience of reality.
Okay, so how do we actually apply this? Let's see how this one little idea can scale up to the bigger parts of our lives, like our careers, our ambitions. How can we actually start reframing our way to success?
We've all been told to set big, ambitious goals, right? You gotta climb that mountain, reach that far-off destination. But what if that's the wrong way to frame it entirely?
A really powerful reframe here is to shift your focus away from a single, distant destination and onto the daily process. See, the usual advice, setting a big goal, puts you in a state of constant failure until you finally get there. This reframe, though, suggests something way more effective.
A system is just something you do every day that improves your odds for success down the line. So if your system is to exercise daily, you win every single day you just go for a walk. But if your goal is to lose 20 pounds, you feel like a failure every single day you're not there yet. The key takeaway is this: systems create this feeling of continuous momentum-building success. You're always winning.
All right, here's another one for you. Our natural instinct is to run away from embarrassment. Who likes it? But what if we've been looking at it completely wrong? Instead of seeing a potential failure as this awful "oh no" moment, try reframing it as a cha-ching, the sound of a cash register. Every risk you take is an investment. It's an investment in experience, in toughness, and hey, in some pretty funny stories for later. It's just the price you pay for growth, and it unlocks all these opportunities that fear would otherwise keep locked away.
Let's get even more personal now, because this isn't just about external stuff like success. It's about fundamentally changing how we feel on the inside.
You know how it is. Life is just a constant stream of little challenges. The car breaks down, the internet is out, a project at work goes sideways. Our default reaction is usually to see these things as burdens, to feel kind of victimized and stressed out. But what if you saw every problem as a game? By reframing your burdens as puzzles, you instantly shift from a state of frustration to one of almost playful curiosity. It totally gamifies the annoyances of life and turns you into a problem solver, not a victim.
Now, this next reframe might just be the most profound one of all. See, most of us identify with our inner monologue, those secret thoughts that are often pretty negative, kind of chaotic. But what if there's a more powerful way to define who you are?
This reframe gives you back control. It says that who you are is not defined by the random noise in your head, but by the tangible things you actually do in the world. You aren't something to be found, you are something to be authored. You're a blank canvas, and your actions are the paint. And this power of authoring ourselves isn't just about our internal world. The external world is constantly programming us too. The key is to see your environment not as something that just happens to you, but as a user interface that you can actively tweak to program yourself.
Take social media, for instance. We scroll through it because we frame it as entertainment or, connecting with friends. But what happens if we just change that one word? See, the word entertainment is an invitation. The word addiction, well, that's a warning. Nobody wants an addiction. By simply relabeling the activity, you change your entire relationship to it, and you give yourself the power to break a habit that might be making you anxious and unhappy.
And that's really what this all comes down to. You can use words to program yourself for a better reality. You can turn failures into successes, burdens into fun little puzzles, and embarrassment into a valuable investment. You are not just a passive observer of your life, you are its author.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. Take a look at your life right now, at your frustrations, at your ambitions. Find that one thing that's causing you friction. How could a simple change in the words you use transform it? What will you reframe today?